just hit the Twitch. Yeah, I just started. We'll give him a minute. What is going on, chat? Are you guys ready for this week's podcast? It is going to be an interesting one with Plarium just hitting it out of the park on all of this Hydra rebalance. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Hey, big shout out to Mr. JR Star 3 for the raid. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you.
Hydra has become worse.
Plarium has just basically killed their own fucking game.
But it's gonna piss people off because they've obviously invested time, resources. You know, I was using my dust in the merchant to upgrade the soul of my Trunda, for example, right? And it's bloody expensive. It takes so long.
I own a Trunda. I recently just 6-star blessed her, and it takes 6 or 7 months for me to get that 6-star blessing. So
we have spent thousands of dollars, thousands of hours, right, chasing these champions, getting things done, and all we seem to get in return is shit.
Don't worry, because they absolutely took a shit on all of the rest of the teams.
And it just keeps piling on.
They made both parts of community unhappy, and that's not safe. That's not healthy for the game community at all. Do not bring everybody down. That's not good. That does not bring happiness.
I know I have to delete all the channels. It's always kind of nice to have something new. Yeah, that's cool. But it really sucks that I have to delete half of my fucking channel. It's
They've brought in these changes. They absolutely killed the entire game mode. Honestly, absolutely killed the entire game mode.
A worse experience for everybody. I find it just so frustrating. I think it's probably the worst update Plarium has ever done.
And I am honestly kind of disgusted about these changes.
Yeah, feels like, damn, that sucks now. That really sucks. People obviously have gone in for big shard events. People will be pissed at that. People use their books. People will be pissed at that. Same sort of thing with Wixwell and that.
Plarium just completely lost the plot, okay? I don't know what's going through their freaking mind, but they absolutely destroyed Hydra.
Highly doubt they will, but I hope they roll back all the changes. Yeah.
But I can think of a bunch of things they could have done, right? Would it kill them to reset the champion on your account? Just compensating the resources that you've already put into the champion is a good start.
They didn't compensate the players so far anyway in any given way. Like, you know, they didn't really give you like a plus side to the downside in a sense. It's just, there you go, guys. You know, for anyone that went for diffusions like the Packmaster, or you went for Yannicka with your clan shop gold, whatever that may be. Oh, we don't care about that, you know? We're just gonna do it anyway.
100%. I 100% wanted Panda Nerf, zero regrets for it, and the same with the turn limit count. But for everything else, I really don't know anyone that asked for these changes. Like, literally, I don't know nobody that asked for these changes.
Funny thing about that, Mr. Scratch, of the AK variety. I actually know exactly who asked for this dumb fucking shit.
Hey guys, it's Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. I am now responsible for another nerf.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Thalaria podcast. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed that new intro. And big shout out to Sam Solstice for it. Gotta love her, gotta love her. We got a lot of things to talk about today, right? So many things have been going on with Hydra. We all know where the current situation is landing. We have a lot of feelings about it, and man, it's gonna be an interesting show. But let's start off with the panel today, and in the top red, we've got our boy Streamer of the Year, Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what is going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thanks to the Plarium, they keep us very busy this week. Like, I still didn't manage to finish reading all the message on the content creator chat, which is I already drink like 2 coffee while I'm trying to read all of them. So
content creator chat definitely blew up this week. I'm not gonna lie, it was very spicy. And I usually try not to get too fired up in it, but definitely it was definitely an interesting one. Next up, we got the, one of the top live arena players, top 100, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing great. Trying to navigate through this game that Plarium has delivered to us. and it's been fun.
All right. Next up, we got my favorite late night streamer in that sexy green light back up there, Mr. MXPJ. PJ, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing awesome. Happy to be here. I was watching some good college football yesterday. And yeah, lots of stuff happening in Raid, and excited to be here and to talk about it.
All right. Last but not least, we got the Dab Master who decided to get dressed up a little bit today for the funeral of Raid Shadow Legends, Mr. Zero Brew. What is going on, Zero?
Woo! What's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Glad to be dressed up as we bury Raid Shadow Legends in the cemetery because they killed their own game. And I didn't realize because we've never included the thing, but it's a nice little centerpiece between us. Got a little baby.
I like that. I like that.
A little marshmallow helmet and Twitch pillow. I didn't realize that because again, I didn't see it ahead of time. So it's like, ooh, I gotta spice this up a notch. So here we go. But glad to be here. So excited for the show, and it has been a spicy week, especially you, BLAZIN. How you feeling?
Oh man, it wasn't interesting. I got to the point today or during this week where I was just kind of like, you know what? I run like 8 or 9 accounts just because a lot of the shard pulls and stuff, and when I do guides, it's just fun, right? The playing one account just kind of gets boring, especially because I've reduced my spending. I don't do any, and so I was kind of at that point. I'm like, do I even want to play anymore? And I thought about it long and hard, but we're going to be discussing that subject today. Now, I just do want to give a quick shout out here real quick to Nick Giles, who is he's somebody that has stopped playing Raid over a year now, but is still following me over on YouTube. So big shout out to him. He's living the dream of getting that separation. He got a divorce from Raid, and I don't. How are you doing? Chat. Let's talk about the ally attack nerf, right? Man, Ken, I'm gonna start it off to you first. Where do you kind of stand with this, with the ally attack? Like, does it bother you much? Is it okay? Do you feel like it's supposed to be as intended as they said?
I mean, look, I don't know coding, okay? Like, I tried back in the day, but I cannot say I know the coding, okay? Maybe it is really make the server problem, all right? Let's just accept that. It's make the server problem. They don't have an option to fix it, right? Well, then give us something. Okay, like we cannot use the Ele attack champion anymore. Then whenever we cast the Ele attack, our champion not gonna join the Ele attack because head is gonna be respawn, right? And then give us our next attack gonna deal like 100% more damage, like 200% more damage. Give us an option. When the head is back, put their skill on the cooldown. Like, is that also the server problem? Like, how you manage, like, game on the fire right now, and you try to, instead of try to stop the fire, you put in more oil on it, man. Like, fuel, like, I don't know what are they doing. Seriously, like,
I agree,
super
man.
bad management.
I agree. It definitely feels like it's why for 2 years that Hydra has been out, or longer actually, I think, right about this point, it was never an issue. All of a sudden now it has become an issue. PJ, where do you kind of stand with this?
Yeah, I'm not happy at all. I think that it pretty much kills the ally attack champions. I just don't know what they want from us. What kind of comps do they want us to run? We can't really run single target multi-hitter.
That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now.
Like it's just, I don't know. They really, I just want the damage to be cut. I ran multiple, like a lot of ally attack champions, Teox. I was a big fan of Hydra. Excuse me, big fan of Hydra. Now I really don't want to do it, mess with it. Don't want to min max. I'll just run my keys and get whatever. But yeah, they said it was like an issue with the servers. We ran it for the last 2 weeks. I didn't hear anyone complain about having any bugs or anything. And if it's on their side, then I don't know. Like, yeah, they gotta do something to help us with it. Like, make it so Serpent's Will only comes twice or once. Like, they gotta balance the game mode back out a little bit and make it fun again.
Right, right.
To the clarification, they said it's caused a multiple error, and if they don't fix it, I mean, if they don't fix it, they are coming together and it's gonna crash the game. That's what they said. So, little bit clarification.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you are getting multiple error, and at some point, game is gonna be crash.
Like a Plarium soon, so in like 10 years it'll crash.
I don't
Probably, yeah. Probably.
Weird.
Zero, what about you, man? Let's get your thought out here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got so much to say about this, but I don't know how they say that. Because it really, I mean, it got caused by them putting the life bar on the deadheads, right?
That's what they claim,
essentially
yes.
It's looking at the code saying, okay, the head's dead, respawn it. And it is, I mean, to be fair, that's how it works in like arena and wave content, because you know, if you use an ally attacker in wave content, you target a single target and you have like ally attack, you know, or like AoE attackers, right? You kind of want them to go, and if you just one shot with your lead hitter on the target, the rest of the attacks don't go. And it's like, oh, it'd be really nice if, you know, it just brought in and AoE'd everyone, right? So yeah, but I think because they did the life bar thing and had this, what's crazy it was functioning that way. It's kind of like when they said they fixed the HP piece. They're like, oh, and then they had to revert those changes back. Like, oh, we fixed the line in the code that fixed it. Now it's functioning as designed, and then it completely destroyed Hydra at the time, and then went back on it. So I guess hearing this new news that Ken just shared with us, if that truly is the case, then they may need to reconsider the whole deadhead has a life bar thing altogether, because I think if they went back, reverted that change, then they get rid of the bug. So I don't know. I'll share all my other thoughts, but just that specifically, I think that's odd. I will say, and I know all the people have done the comments on this, but if they fixed this quote unquote bug and it nerfed everybody but Trunda, that's the main thing. I know that's what everybody's pissed about, but like, what's the point of even doing it at this point if you know we lose all our damage on these other teams? And the whole statement of diversity of teams, well, yeah, they kind of did some of that now, but now they kind of took it away, right? So
right.
My ninja Mikagi went from doing 1.4 billion in hard to about 300 million in hard, and now it might go down to 2 or 100 million. It's you kind of cutting the meat close to the bone on this one, Plarium.
Right. I'm going to share something in a minute here about the ally attack portion, where I think I realize where they're trying to go with this. But Gestal, where do you stand with the whole ally attack rework?
I think the biggest issue for me, I'm not a huge Hydra guy. It's definitely, I don't like any of the stuff that they've done with Hydra, but it doesn't really sway me one way or another, to be honest. I try to auto all my runs and I'm done. I never really had an ally attack team set up. I did a while back use like a Mikage Harima combo for a bit that was pretty nice. But I wasn't using it recently. I think to me the bigger issue is that they kind of, I feel like they didn't really say anything about it. Right. And I think like they've been so good about like talking about any changes, like whether it's through the CCs or just like a direct note in the digest or something. I feel like they've been really open and honest about everything, and I don't understand. Like, why not get out ahead of it? Like, do they think we're dumb? I mean, they got some of the smartest guys playing this game I've ever met. They know numbers on top of numbers. Like, people are doing stuff I've never even thought of or could even have thought of. Man, there's some super smart people playing this game.
Right.
Did they not think we were gonna realize this? Like, get out ahead of it. To me, that was really the biggest issue. Like, come out, explain what's going on. If, like, you know, don't like, and then you lose all of this, people will be upset probably still, but at least there'd be an explanation. I don't think it's a good one, but at least they could have, you know, at least get out in front of it. That's how I feel.
Right, and on that fact, I think no matter, even if they had gotten out in front of it and said, hey, this is what's going to happen in the next patch, no matter what, we would have been pissed, right? Because it is something that has been working this way, and they've never really said that it's supposed to work any other way for a long time. And, you know, in my video that I did, I gave the example of Clan Boss, and people were like, well, Clan Boss has an HP bar, and he doesn't really die. Well, why not fucking code it that way, right? Why not code it where it's got that 1 HP bar, or that, you know, that 1 HP until the turn is done, because no matter what, it's going to come back with a, you know, a Serpent's Will buff afterwards anyway. So if that was the problem, I think they should have coded it that way and just kind of say, hey, listen, you know, we're still going to give you guys that damage, because again, this, you know, what they've really done is not affecting more of us, the end game players, right? What it is affecting is a lot of the earlier game accounts, players that aren't, you know, this is kind of where they hammered it in, where the players that are barely able to do this kind of content, they've just really pushed them out, right? Let me ask, do you guys think they actually tested this stuff out prior to, you know, releasing it? I know Mr. Kempachi over there did a video with a Scratch, by the way, if you want to put that in the chat so people can go check that out. I'm going to start with you. Do you think that they actually tested any of this out, or this was just kind of like, you know what, we feel like the community is doing too much damage, we still need to nerf it back, we need to make Hydra a little more difficult because we're not sure where we're going to kind of stand in with some of these next patches coming in with difficulty and stuff?
No, they definitely don't play this game, and they doesn't test any single thing. They will test server access for the tier 3 CCs, which is we talk with the Scratch today, and they noticed this bug fix or whatever you called it on the test server, and they report that, you know, like they actually noticed that like 1 week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, you know, Eliatak is stopping on the test server. They noticed it, what's going on, they ask, then 2 days later they fix it. So Eliatak was working again. Looks like they've been testing there, you know, and without saying them anything, this patch just go to live, and they just call that bug fix. And again, they don't know how terrible this decision is to hurting the player base, because if they play the game or they test in the game, I don't think they are trying to kill their own game, right? Like they want to make that bad decision, you know, like if they have to do this, like they should be give us some stuff to let us to forgive them, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And yep, my thoughts is that's all.
Okay. And I do remember reading that comment in the creator chat where, you know, people were like, listen, we reported this, you guys had nothing for us, didn't say anything. Now it goes live, and of course, what do you expect? People are going to see this, people are going to come out, they're going to talk about it. And, you know, we did kind of get a talking to as creators here saying, listen, guys, if there's problems, if you notice something, bring it to our attention before you go out with it. Ask us for the information. Which I feel, you know, I wasn't privy to the tier 3 creator communication, but it sounds like that was reported. It sounds like it was fixed, but yet when it went live, it still happened. Gestal, what about you, man? Do you think they kind of tested this stuff out, or was it just one of those things where they said that, you know what, too many people are still pushing Hydra, we need to nerf this even more?
Yeah, that's the curious part about this one. I don't know. I would like to think they, like, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, I've heard somewhere that there's 400 employees at Plarium. Now they do have a bunch of games, but 400 employees is a lot of people. You would like to think they have some sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 people testing stuff out. Maybe not. If I ran a game company that did live updates all the time, I think I would probably have a quality assurance team kind of going through stuff to make sure it's doing what it should do. But I don't know. I don't know the answer. It's to me almost more like the people that care about this game, right, are the ones that are here, the ones that are on the streams, that are the ones that are watching the YouTube videos, like the ones that are really into this game are in the community, and they're the ones that are going to be the loudest, right? So I think we all feel the same somewhat towards all these things, these changes. Like, how does this really affect all the other player bases? Maybe we're a minority in the overall grand scheme of things. Like, maybe just we're the hardcore people and we notice these things, and maybe it's a much bigger deal to us than it is to, I don't know, 70% of the community that isn't as into the game.
And that's a very good point, because Plarium doesn't really give us access to their analytics, so it's not like we get a report that says, hey guys, 30% of the community can do Nightmare Hydra or Brutal Hydra, 10% of the community can do hard mode and stuff like that. Like, we would love to actually see that, because that as creators would help us kind of say, okay, well, this is where we need to tailor our content to kind of help the player base out, because essentially, as a content creator, that's what I view it. Yeah, I do like, the game and everything, but I also do like enjoy helping the community out, putting stuff out there that people could do. And the thing is, if I showcase, or if you showcase, or Ken showcases, or anybody, a Nightmare run, but only 1% of the or 1% of the community can actually do it, that's kind of, well, why put it out there for them, right? Yeah, it'll get the views and stuff, and it'll get people to do it, but at the same time, I feel like if we're able to tailor it better to the individuals out there, that would be better. PJ, what about you?
Yeah. Can you redo the question?
Do you think Plarium actually tested this out, or was this kind of just one? Was this kind of the thing that they just said, you know what, too many of the player base was still able to do Hydra, so we're just gonna give them another buff to Hydra, nerf to the community?
Yes. Okay. I think they do, I don't know, very little to minimal testing, because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be in the original rebalance 2 weeks ago, because I remember talking to people about how Yesenia, Teox aren't going to be as good, ally attacks aren't going to be as good, and then when they dropped the rebalance, it wasn't in the game, so I was like, oh, maybe they thought it was too much, or they're not going to do it. So now seeing that it was working okay for 2 weeks, and now them doing it, it's interesting.
Can I clarification one thing there?
Mm-hmm.
So this bug is started, we killed them and they are getting some HP. Before that, they was unlimited HP, so Eli attack was going to the target, right?
Right.
Right now, because they have a limited HP, looks like the bug is started after the rebalance, after they did the changes. So that's why it's a new bug, from what I understand from their word on the CC chat.
Right. So this started right when they put the HP balance or the HP bar into it.
HP
so
bar
yeah,
on the dead head. Yes.
That's why. Which again points me out to Clan Boss does the same fucking thing. Why not just do it the same way? Sorry, PJ.
No, you're good. But I thought, wasn't it supposed to be I thought this was how it was supposed to be in the rebalance, where you would hit the heads and they wouldn't respawn in the original rebalance. I'm pretty sure I saw because I remember talking about that, and that being in it, I was worried about that.
Normal attack does respawn, but multi attack and the L attack wasn't.
Yeah, no, this was just a clear nerf to the ally attacks and the multi hitters.
Right, I don't know. I was under the impression that it was supposed to be like that from the start, and then now they're, I don't know, maybe not. I'll have to go back and look at it. But if they are testing stuff at Plarium and it's a few people, they need way more. That's not enough people to actually find issues. And this seems like it would be a pretty easy issue to find. Ally attack is very common in endgame, Hydra, Teox, Yesenia. I mean, lots of people use them. Not even just endgame for ally attack. So I think this is gonna hurt a lot of people.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they're just not testing stuff.
I agree. I definitely don't think they are. It definitely seems like it. Zero, what do you think, man?
Yeah, so absolutely no way they tested this. What I think, and this is just me being 20-25 years in the working force, especially when you have different departments and different things, they're definitely not talking to each other. And then coupled with the fact that probably, and I've heard rumors of this, that the code is spaghetti code. And for those of y'all don't know, like as they develop different areas of the game, just looking at what you said, Clan Boss versus Hydra, right? And it kind of looks the same, but yet, Clan Boss technically doesn't die, and it doesn't get the multiplier on it being dead HP. So there's definitely a different mechanic there that's being coded in. And so I think whenever you overhaul a system that's been in place like this, you are absolutely introducing bugs. And when they do it without using the community, I think they really should tap onto the CCs in the community to test this stuff before they roll it out. But I don't know, you guys play games on Steam and stuff, and like I feel like when games get released, especially if they're early access games and things like that, they're constantly, whenever they release a new patch, like if you look at that game for the next week, they're constantly repatching it. And I think that's probably where Plarium is kind of doing wrong. They have these patch windows, and I would probably say the people that are coding versus the testers, plus as the people like theorizing how this could work. I would imagine they're all different people, and they're saying, okay, here's the changes we want to implement, now code it. Coders go out and code it, now test it. And they're just not communicating, nor probably could they. And now they're probably internally pointing the fingers at each other, like like, oh, you screwed it up, or this wasn't the idea, or all we wanted to do was to have you nerf Trunda and Wixwell, and now look what you've done. And then you got PR getting involved, going, this is a nightmare. Now I got to come through with a mop and bucket and clean up this vomit. Like, so I think it's a complex situation. And I think in the past where they've broken it, they have fixed it. Right. So, and I said this several weeks ago, give this new change time. Now, obviously they made this bigger change, which made it even worse for everyone. Just let's give them a little bit to get it figured out. And honestly, implementing it technically is probably really hard based on how the game is coded, right? And the other thing you got to think too, there's like how many champions? 800 plus champions in the game that all do unique stuff. Like, you can't account for all those different variances of what's going to break a mode or not, right? Now, in this case, should they have just nerfed Trunda and walked away? Yeah, probably. But I think, going back to what they originally said, they said, hey, we want to fix Hydra for everyone, bring everything to a level playing field for now and in the future. And if they're diverting the resources, time, and money to do that, that's probably where we are. If just in a realistic standpoint, not, taking the emotion out of it, from a business realistic standpoint, that's probably where we are. Community nightmare, though, the way they did it. Hopefully that gives some insight. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I know the Duchess is missing gear, guys. It's just there for the background. I'm not actually trying to do a run here. Maybe we'll see if there's something else going on that we don't notice. But chat, question to you guys too is, they said that we missed putting this out there. We forgot to put this part of the patch notes out there. And this is one of those things where I personally don't think they missed it. I mean, unless there, as Zero was saying, there is some big communications issues. I do feel like at least the way it's presented to us is that it was gonna just be shadowed in and just kind of say, okay, well, it is what it is. Let's see if they figure it out, and then we'll kind of go from it that way. But chat, what do you guys think? Do you think they did it intentionally? Do you think that they actually just had an honest mistake? Zero, go ahead. I'll let you answer first.
Yeah. So I just think yeah, they implemented the changes, and if it's true that they were getting error codes and it was messing up the server the way they were doing it, they probably went right back to their coding engineers and said, okay, we've got a major bug on the back end. Players aren't seeing it, but this is going to mess us up. Fix it. And they went in and fixed it. And probably they went in and fixed it so quickly that they really didn't tell them how they fixed it. I'm imagining, I would hope they aren't sitting back going, okay, we're just going to sneakily do this, because they communicated on everything else, right? I mean, they did for once give us an in-depth thing about what they were doing, and I felt like they didn't weaponize this communication like they weaponized a lot of the other communications, right? So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt here and just say they sent their engineers to task, and they put the fix in, and they didn't really realize, oh crap, we just nerfed we just nerfed 90% of the things further than what we've already nerfed them, and now we have this other expectation that we gotta, whatever. I don't know, but I'm gonna go for that. Now maybe it got raised up to the person sitting in a big chair, and the person said, yeah, do it anyway because we got to fix the server, and let's just not glaringly announce that we effed this up, right? So there could have been a decision there, but again, that requires a whole lot of, coordinating and stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot of fingers getting pointed internally, and that's a toxic workplace environment. You really don't want to have that. So I would side on they fixed it, and they broke it, and they didn't really know what they broke when they broke it.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt.
Positive 0.
Okay, you're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that they just kind of missed this. But it is the as Mr. Minx mentioned, it is probably the most important part of this patch that it came out. It was the biggest change out of everything, because honestly, I don't think there's anything else that was even significant. PJ, what do you think? Is it just an oopsie, or was it, well, let's see if they figured it out.
I don't know how they missed this. I guess it's just how to let us figure it out, but I don't know how they wouldn't think we wouldn't figure it out. Like it was like the first day. I mean, like Ken said, the CCs, the CCs figured it out on the test server. And I don't know, I just feel like they're taking almost like the lazy route. Like if they fixed it, then they should change it, revert it, and then make it how it actually workable, and then make the changes again. Like they're kind of just like, screw the player base, they'll just deal with it. Like we're not gonna truly fix it, we'll just make it so everything's nerfed and they can deal with it.
Okay. Gestal, what do you think?
I think I answered this already, didn't I?
Do you think it was done intentionally, or was it just like an oopsie? The not mentioning it to us part.
Yeah, I mean that, like, I guess I'd say, yeah. I don't know. I'd hate to say they. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I think maybe they were afraid to announce it, so maybe they didn't.
Okay.
And they were like, maybe we can slide it by them. I think that's what I think.
We got the power. They're scared of us.
Ken, what about you? What do you think?
I think they miss it. Like they did, like accidentally they forget to put it, because like changes like that is going to be noticeable. There's a people with data mine this game. First of all, they are going to notice, but you don't even need them to notice these big changes, right? Every one of us is agree. I also see some comment on the chat. Everybody's saying big, but I believe they don't know how big it is. So if there's a tester for this game, they are definitely not player. They just test, okay, it's working. It's working, no crash, there we go, we are Gucci. They have no idea how big is the Ela attack, like the damage we are getting from it.
Right.
This is the answer I got from me. Like, their tester doesn't play the game. They don't know how is the game working. They are testing, is it working, this champion attack? Okay, tossed. There we go. We Gucci, release the patch. I think that's what they are doing.
Not even if it attacks the right head, just if it attacks.
Yeah, exactly. It's attacking. Yeah.
Okay. I definitely, honestly, we're never gonna find out. I mean, we can sit here and speculate all we want. Again, the one thing I do want to say is, how do you miss the biggest part of the patch? Because again, do you guys remember anything else other than this part of the patch that was done? Ken?
Sorry, what did you ask? I didn't understand.
Exactly. See, my point. What part of the patch do you remember, if anything, that was significant other than this?
Red dot fix on the siege.
All right.
Clench it, switch. It's a.
It was. We did get a couple of other things. I want to see if anybody else is going to mention them. Gestal?
Arena stuff. Oh.
Gestal, do you remember anything of the patch that was coming up?
My favorite. I think the best thing is the extra hour in live arena, man. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Zero. Try not to take 2 hours.
Arena, the live arena changes were amazing. Meaning the extra time. In fact, the whole time I was sitting there going, God, like these windows are just so crappy. Like you only really can get it in like once or twice, and you can't even get the full 2 hours. It'd be really nice if they expanded this. So that was really nice. And I do. Is this one of the topics later? Are we going to talk about?
We will be talking. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'll save that for that.
Thank you.
But I will say the red dot did not get fixed for me, so I don't know. I went on Reddit and saw that people said it was fixed, and then I saw other people saying, yeah, it's not fixed. So back to the drawing board. But the red dot just proves. Right? They implement a new part of the game and they added a stupid red dot, and it took them how long to get it out? Like, again, priorities, right? Who cares about a red dot? But just that simple of a thing, and then you're gonna revamp all of Hydra's mechanics and not think you're gonna break the game? Come on.
Fair. PJ?
There's some siege stuff. Is that this update?
Yeah.
Siege rebalance with they did a few things with siege. They reduced
reduced the price for the repair.
Yeah, and then they did something with the pricing of if you have your stronghold or your stuff's
I like
alive,
how
I think.
I like how I gave PJ enough time to go in and look at the patch notes and say, okay, what did they actually do? This was just supposed to strictly be off memory, guys.
All off the top.
Yeah.
All off
yeah.
the top.
Let me look at what. Okay. But yeah, listen, this is a horrible thing that happened to a lot of our teams. How much damage have you guys lost if you are one running an ally attack team? Chat question to you and Zero. I know you run your Trunda comp, not your Trunda comp, your Ninja comp.
Yeah, so I don't really know. So what's crazy is I'm one badge away, and I've run it 84 times to get the one badge on the Marius mission for the Iron Twins thing. And I got up to 79 of 80 last Saturday, and it's been a full week, and I've double run it all week and have not gotten the one single badge. And so I've held on to my brutal fight because once I get that, I can fly through and get my Marius instantly. But so I've been holding on to my brutal fight, so I don't know. But I ran right at reset my first one, and I ran it like normal before obviously the patch, and I did what I was supposed to do. And then my clan was like, "Hey, we're trying to lose this one. Don't go ham." So I don't really know. When I ran my hard ninja team, I just got to like 25 million and bailed out on it, and it didn't take long to get that. But I will say I do remember when they did the original patch originally. I was like, "Oh, this is really cool. We can still do all that damage to the deadhead, and then it respawns." So what's funny is, even though they didn't really announce that, like that was a mechanic I saw in the game. It's like, oh, we can still at least.
Okay, let's go to PJ next.
Yeah. So before the rebalancing they did this week, I ran my Nightmare Key and I got over 1 billion. I was really happy. And then I actually didn't keep it because I thought I could do better. I was saving it for like the next stream because it's still early in the week. And then the next day they come in and absolutely destroy Hydra. So I haven't rerun it or retested it. I've kind of been like staying away from Hydra at the moment, which is really sad because that was like my main like love of the game. So yeah, I haven't rerun it, but we'll see. I got one over like over a billion though before it.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I mean, all my teams in general are way down. I haven't been running like an ally attack one specifically, so I wouldn't have anything on that to comment, or I guess, but like all my teams are way down. I tried to run my Trunda team I used to run it on Brutal, and it was like crazy numbers, obviously, before, but like Clash numbers, I think it was 100 billion. And yeah, and now it's like now I did like 500,000 or
Okay.
$500 million.
$500 million. Okay.
And I have to manual it, and it didn't, and I couldn't get it all the way through. Like I couldn't, and that was hard, not brutal. And I raised those were the speeds I raised the speeds for brutal, and then I took it back down to hard, and it still can't get through it. So, which I guess is good, right? I don't know. I know there are teams out there, the Trunda teams out there that can put up some pretty good points, but all my teams are way down.
Okay. Yeah, we'll touch on a second here about hard difficulty, because I feel like they've made hard Hydra even more difficult than they've done like Nightmare and Brutal. But Ken, your thoughts? How much damage have you been losing?
I haven't tested after the recent patch, but the previous patch I've been getting like 2 billion on the hard, and I'm barely getting like 500 million now. Like you said, hard difficulty is the hardest one right now, guys, because hard difficulty HP bar is very small, right? So even you hit them like one single champion, they just reborn, and it's so annoying. And the Brutal team, I've been maybe 1.5. I believe they are also 500 million now, I think. Nightmare is also 500. Yeah, every team is 500 now. Nightmare team was almost 1 billion, by the way, before the everything.
Okay. So for my keys specifically, it's been interesting. So my Nightmare team, I actually got around the same that I did last week, but I ran that key on Tuesday prior to the reset, so that wasn't really affected. My hard team though, the damage went up about 100 million, but there was a big trade-off, and that was I had to do it on manual, which I fucking hate doing things on manual, right? I was sitting on stream with Bronco and the other guys in his Discord, and we were kind of just chatting, and he's like, just try it manual, and so I did. And this is going to be a problem now. So it feels like Plarium, telling us that they want to reduce the amount of time we spend in game and try to make it a little more friendly for us. With this recent most update, they've kind of made it so that we now, if we want to get better scores and be competitive in Clash, we're going to have to manual this. What do you think about that, Ken? Where do you stand with it?
I mean, pretty much you have to manual all the time if you are like really going hard. It was previous version of the Hydra was same too, because auto is, AI is stupid. It's not like ChatGPT AI, like they actually recently released another patch to make the AI smarter again, because they somehow make that even worse than before. But yeah, auto is very risky, man, so you need to be on the control on the manual.
Yeah.
Obviously, I also prefer to do it auto, but for the auto, you need to have some specific champion to help you. Not every team is auto friendly. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Champion like Sufrion actually can work very well, especially after rebalance, or the Sierra actually very good now. So yeah, it doesn't affect too much to me. I've been doing manual.
Okay. The AI with this current fix has been a little bit better. We're not hitting into heads that have the serpent ball and stuff like that. So I guess
actually Ele attack is going to the death head now, but it's actually a bad thing because it's not gonna deal damage.
Right. And that was one of the reasons why I was manualing this, because if you put Mikage and Ninja together, Ninja will hit for like 2 million, 2.5, and then Rathalos will follow up, with like a 1 million if it's on his A1 on an ally attack on the 5th hit. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, now I need to manage where the ally attack goes in, which is one of the main reasons. I don't foresee myself doing this again. Gestal, what about you? Are you finding it that, manual is going to be better for your account than auto?
Yeah, it would definitely improve all my teams if I were to manual it. I manualed one of the 3 keys this week, and that was one too many, man. Halfway through, I was already putting myself to sleep doing it, and I was doing it on stream, so I imagine people were falling asleep with me.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think it's not a fun part of the game for me.
Right.
I think I liked having everything like on full auto. It was way better.
Right. And I don't want to go here and be like, I'm giving him credit for fixing the AI, by the way, because this was something that should have been fixed. Because I prior to this, I don't remember it becoming an issue. The ally attack was going into where it was supposed to. It wasn't going onto heads that had Serpent's Will or Poison Cloud or stuff like that. Granted, the champions never targeted devoured heads, so that was always a problem. But
I had Mikage ally attack invulnerable head. Yeah.
Was that prior to this whole 2 weeks?
Oh, prior to the 2 weeks? I don't know about that. She always did weird stuff. Like, I think they coded it to look at her affinity because she's a blue champion or whatever.
Red champion.
And yeah, and so like if she would weak hit, like whatever. Yeah. So like if she would weak hit, she would target a head that would make Ninja weak hit versus like who cares about her damage? We want Ninja to do the damage. I think
right.
Like that was part of the coding.
And chat, question to you. Do you see yourselves manualing more, or are you going to just leave it full auto and get what you get on your Hydra keys? Because I'm interested to find out what you guys have to say about this. But PJ, I think I know what the answer is going to be here, but shoot it.
Well, kind of like what Ken said, manual was always, if you're trying to do the very best you could, manual was always the way to go. I don't know. As of me right now, it definitely feels like they are pushing us towards doing more manual. But they lowered the turn count, and then with all the changes, personally, I don't know. I was like I said, like 60-40, 70-30, but now I might just be more auto and not even care as much. And like obviously, I'm still gonna like click the heads and like I guess take over if I have to, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't see myself caring as much about Hydra right now in the state it's in. So I'll probably be not as min-maxing as I was before.
Okay. All right. And Zero, what about you? Are you gonna be manualing or autoing?
I'm gonna run them exactly how I've been running them, which is full auto, except for the Ninja team. I had to smartly select things for Mikage not to do her stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not as fun as it was before, so I don't really care as long as I get in my chest. I do think though, if this nerf is going to stay in the game, they do need to really consider. I know we talked about this 2 weeks ago, lowering the thresholds for the points because they're cutting everybody's damage with these changes. So
right,
penalize the people that can't do the max chest damage. I think that's something they strongly need to consider if they're going to stick with these changes.
Okay. And I agree with that. I feel with this recent most change to their damage, this hurts more of the lower end of the community, people that were just able to get it or get that one key. Does it affect the higher end and the pay to win? Of course. People invest time, money, energy into this game, so no matter which way you go, it's definitely not gonna make anyone happy. But I want to talk about hard Hydra and how much more difficult it has now become, because I've probably ran this stupid key with Trunda on full auto I want to say at least a dozen times over the last week or 5 days, 4 days, whatever. And it feels like it does less damage than my Nightmare team did and my Brutal team. Like, it cannot break 300 million. Are you finding yourselves having a more difficult time with Hard Hydra, or is it just me? Chat, let me know. Let's go to PJ first.
Yeah, definitely. They're really squishy, and we're just killing them so fast. And the Serpent's Will is just coming back so much. That's a big issue. And this is kind of the issue for not myself, but like super Krakens and Whales on like Brutal and Nightmares, that they just have so much. Those are so good and have so much damage that it's just like Swiss cheese. They're slicing through the Nightmare so fast, and they're having the issues that we're having like on Hard. But yeah, it's weird that the more damage you do is almost hurting you because you're killing them too quickly now, and you're doing less damage overall because then you get the Serpent's Will, and you get into this like tough loop.
Right. I agree with Annie Elf here, saying I think it's going to get to the point where we're just going to run our keys, get whatever keys we can for damage, and then kind of get out. Because I do feel essentially Plarium has just killed the hell out of Hydra right now. Zero.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with Annie Elf, as I said in chat. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I'm going to kind of approach it. It was fun for me to be able to amp up my damage over time, right? Like, it wasn't just a few months ago, and of course they gave us Ninja, and that helped me a lot. But yeah, I think like that hard thing, you all raise a valid point, and the max HP damage dealers don't even really do all that much in Hard to begin with. And so it was like really cool to crank out, 1.3 against Hard with like the Ninja Mikage combo, right? So, this is really cool. And now, yeah, I went from 1.3, 1.4 down to like 300. And again, I haven't run it because I just did like 25 million and got out this week. But I'm imagining the way that happened, and again, as fast as you kill them, especially with Hex too, right? Because you're spreading that damage and all that. So that means less debuffs. I think PJ said it right. You get in a cycle, and it's like kill them too fastly. Your debuffs don't even hit the cooldown. You got the immunity, and now all these mechanics if they wanted to nerf people from doing damage, they successfully did that. Because I'll know more when I get to test it fully, but I'd imagine maybe 200 million damage out of the team. So it's a bit shocking.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? Are you finding yourself being hard capped with the damage on Hard Hydra?
It's definitely, like I said, I was running the Trunda team on it, and like there were times where you could kind of line it up where it would kill 2 of the stumps as it was killing 2 of the heads, and you could kind of almost get it to like always have 1 up, but like you can't always line it up like that. And again, I was running it manual, and I did it for like an hour and 20 minutes, man. It took forever. So it has to, like, it all has to work out perfectly for it to be okay in that type of situation. But like it also causes problems because I would run into plenty of times where I had all 4 with the Serpent's Will. So they die too quickly. They definitely die way too quickly. I think they should just revert the whole stupid thing, man. Get rid of it. I don't like. Let us just pound on them until the new one pops up. I don't understand it.
Right.
Revert
and
it.
I think I agree with you there. Now that this has become this way, where they have the HP pool and our damage caps out wherever it might be, I think they need to just get rid of Serpent's Will. Go ahead, Zero. I can see you bursting at the seams.
No, I'm just thinking that's the most valid point. If they're going to fix anything, they should have fixed the Serpent's Will being on all 4 heads. They said, oh, it won't happen. And then it's, oh, it happens, but rarely. But then it's like, oh, it happens all the freaking time. That's the thing that they should have gone in and fixed, not the ally attack thing. So that really irks the shit out of me is the Serpent's Will thing, or lower it back down to 75% damage or something. Like,
I think at this point the only logical explanation, especially if they're going to keep it like this, is to just get rid of the Serpent's Will, because now the player base's damage has really been hard cap, and I get that if you want to try to keep a damage for everybody kind of leveled off and, you know, give it a little bit of an RNG based on what the gear sets that they can do and stuff like that, but you still have Trunda fucking destroying everything, right?
That's the other thing. Her A2 isn't like a double hitter, so that doesn't even she doesn't get affected by these.
Right.
Changes, really.
Right.
So it's like,
it's definitely kind of tough. Ken, what about you?
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it's definitely affect the hard difficulty more, because hard difficulty is very squishy. So you are finding yourself a position. Let's say you kill all of them, and the first one is reborn, and let's say it's a poison cloud. So he just reborn, right? If you also finish his friends, they will also come back. And the poison cloud gonna be use the buff, right? And if you don't have a special HP burn champion, which doesn't have an attack skill, there's nothing you can do. And I find myself on this position pretty often. So I kill the heads, then one of them is born, it's a poison cloud. So if I kill the other friends, they also going to reborn before he casts the skill. And because of that, I didn't attack them. Do you know what did I attack? I attacked the poison cloud while he's under Serpent Wheel buff. I decide to do 0 damage, because otherwise it's going to be worse, because they're going to reborn. My skill is not ready, because I forced them to reborn pretty quickly because they're squishy, right? And boom, he's going to cast the poison cloud, and I have to deal with that for the next 2 turns. So it's so stupid.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so with everything done to Hydra, it's going to take a lot for the community to kind of mellow out and kind of say, you know what, we may not forgive you for what you did, but we'll accept it because of this. And that this is going to be, what would you suggest they do to kind of ease, you know, this is a message to their PR department. What should their PR department right now do to kind of ease the masses? Chat, would love to hear what you guys have to say. And then Zero, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, in terms of like constructive feedback, and I was hoping you would bring this up as a topic. Like, what would you do to fix all of this and fix Hydra? And I think it goes back to what we said originally, right? And why Trunda was so broken was nobody gave a crap until they made it a competitive thing, right? CVC, you know, the CVC aspect of it, right? Like, we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, like, if you maybe even if they just reverted everything back to what it was and just said, you know what, we're going to put a hard cap on the CVC points, and the only, like, I don't know, I'm just making something up, but like, okay, 1 billion is the cap on the damage per run or something like that. And then the only way to tie break that is whoever got to the 1 billion the fastest, because they're already tracking the turn count, right? So, like, you know, BLAZIN, if you did it in 500 turns, then boom, you get an edge up to me doing it in 600 turns. So, and that would just be in CVC, and just let the damage be what it is and let people get their chest and whatnot, would be a suggestion. In terms of the PR, like, I think PR should just come out and say, hey, look, we're not satisfied with how we've implemented everything. We're still looking at solutions. Please bear with us. Here's some more free shit. You know, that's what I would suggest they do from a PR perspective to answer your question. Annie says that makes too much sense. My suggestion, but I think that would just take it away. So who cares if you got 100 billion in Trunda? You're only gonna get credit for 1 billion, and your entire clan's gonna get credit for 1 billion. But you know what? You did it in 200 turns versus me doing it in 800 turns. So that's where you get your edge for having a better team.
Okay, so you're saying get out ahead of it, do a restructure on the point allocation, and then just give us some free stuff. Yeah. I think it's too late for the point allocation, to be quite honest, because now they've they've nerfed everything. They've basically nerfed every team out there. And unless you have a Trunda, you're going to see a lot of
revert the changes back. Like go back to exactly what it was before. Let all the broken shit be broken, and then just cap the points.
Okay.
And that'll fix the competitive thing as to why they even did this to begin with, because it was broken.
Right, and they've been told that idea on how to rework the whole point system before, and they chose not to do it. Yeah. But fair suggestion. PJ, where do you stand? What do you got to say to their PR department?
Yeah. Well, here's like a little tinfoil hat theory. I'm not sure. It is Plarium, so you never know. But I've heard people say that, get it on Zero, that maybe they're like downgrading or downplaying Hydra. So if the Great Void comes out soon, like players will get hyped out about that and like want to like do that a lot, try hard in that. Like I don't think that's necessarily right. I don't think you would like kill Hydra just to like boost Great Void, but it's Plarium, so you never really know. But yeah, as far as the PR, I don't know, they're in a tricky spot. I honestly thought that before this rebalance a couple of days ago, like Hydra was in an okay spot. Like I thought they could do a few more tweaks, maybe to Trunda or maybe do a few other things like Serpent's Will. But I thought it was in an okay spot, so I say just go back to how it was before a couple of days ago, and then say we're going to look to improve upon that structure and try to make you guys enjoy Hydra again. Because I think a lot of people were getting to the point where they were starting to like it, and now this is absolutely crushing them and killing them, even after the rebalance a few weeks ago. So yeah, I thought it was going towards a good spot. I was really happy for the Hydra's like future, and now I'm like crushed.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not sure what they would say, but I guess yeah, we're gonna revert the changes back and look to make it better.
Okay.
Give us free stuff, more free stuff.
Okay, so we're in agreement with the free stuff. 2 out of 5 panels. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
And I'll just shut up. I gotta get it
No,
out.
you won't. No, you won't.
I do think if the PR 2 weeks ago was we want more diverse champions and more diverse teams and stuff, and utilize our pool of 800 champions in the Hydra mode, that was cool with those changes. But now this newest one, they completely crapped on that. Now most comps that were at least competitive are out of the, even multi-hitters, which is so silly. If you hit for, G-Nut, for example, if he hits for 3 turns to do that massive amount of hits, that first hit will respawn the head and it's over, right? So I think that's the PR nightmare is, hey, we're doing this to make it more diverse and use our awesome champion pool, and now they just pooped on that. So I think that's really the nightmare they're dealing with, and I'll shut up.
All right. Gestal, what about you? What do you have as a suggestion for their PR department?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously address this on my stream as well, so I'm just gonna say the same thing I said there. If I were president of Plarium, I'd probably be a lazy CEO who's not really paying too close attention to everything that's going on. I'd have my board members all sitting there, or my C-level staff sitting there, and have them tell me, why am I getting all these emails? Why are people quitting the game? What the heck just happened, guys? What'd you do? And they're all bumbling around. Well, maybe it's this Hydra change we just did. All right, well, what if we just revert it? Why don't we just undo it? Why don't we just go back to the way Hydra was? People seem to like it that way. Why'd you guys change it? Well, is Trunda team, blah, blah, blah. Well, didn't we have like a fix for Trunda like 3 years ago? I totally remember a conversation about that. Why don't you just do that fix from 3 years ago and revert Hydra, and it should be fine, right? Like everything should work out. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'm just Joe Schmo sitting here in a spare bedroom talking to a camera, but that's what I would do.
Okay, fair.
Free stuff, bro. Free stuff all day. They should give us free stuff every day.
Fair point. There was a content creator that came out and said, that the reason why Hydra was never fixed in the beginning was because of the lashback he got from one of his videos. And I remember the video because I went back and watched it. It was Hell Hades. where he was kind of, he had just gotten Trunda and was like, yeah, this is too strong, too powerful. And everybody in the video on the comments were just kind of like, no, don't do it. This is no. But again, this was prior to, when Trunda was the main damage dealer for any arena team. I feel like maybe going back and looking at that, they probably should have rethought it, but who knows? So we're
Wait,
into.
Are you saying that HH got them to back down the change?
Not got them to back down the change. What happened is he put out a video saying Trunda should be nerfed because she's just too powerful in arena. And the lashback he got back from the community then was pretty severe. People were in his comments like, no, why nerf Trunda? She is like the #1 damage dealer, all of this. Like, she's good in one area of the game and that's it. Which, that was prior to Hydra coming out. And the lashback from the community was kind of like, they were ready to do it. And then they said, you know what, maybe we'll hold off. We won't do it because we see kind of what happened. So
I wonder if why they don't listen to the CCs when they test stuff, if all that spans all the way back to stuff like that, right? Where
good question.
They relied too heavily on the CCs, like the noise that's generated from the CC content. Again, I'm not saying that is a negative way for CC content, but I'm just curious if, like, when the CCs come out and say, hey, this is really bad, you should fix it, and they don't ever listen to it. I'm curious if any of that has to do with it.
I don't feel like the test server's there for testing. I feel like it's literally, I feel like it's just there for them to have videos ready to make for any new content coming out. Because they do this all the time. That what is there is what's getting launched, is what's going to be in the next update. Right. So I don't think they care what they have to say, to be honest.
Right.
I think they're Plarium. This is ready to roll, guys. Test it out, but make sure you make your content so people keep playing our game.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is because people can't really pull the fusion, and to the point of fusions used to be a lot more accessible. And then once they started giving access to the CCs on the test server, that's when they kind of ripped it back a little bit and said, okay, well, instead of 150 fragments, we're only going to give you 100 or 110 and put a little more of a pay-to-win element behind it. But prior to that, we really had no way of testing any of these fusions out, so we didn't know if they were good or not. And that's, a lot of people were really pissed when they lost out on the Rotos fusion or, some of the other ones there. So the test server is really honestly there, and this might just be my opinion, just to showcase what is currently going on, and that's it. Because we don't have access to anything else. We can't test anything. Ken, thoughts?
I mean, first of all, we need to go back. Where is this problem come from, right? And this is the Plarium word again, guys. They confirm it. The reason they buff Hydra to nerf to Trunda. And there is one content creator friend. I just remember his comment. He just said, just delete her. He just said, I don't know who was that. I don't remember right now, but he just said like, just delete her. And I also said like, come on, it can't be that hard to nerf her, right? Then for the counter attack, they said, if you don't do these changes today, in the future, the another champion we are going to release is going to be a problem. Well, then you should be prepared for that already before the release of the champion, right? Like, you are the one who released the champion, right?
Right.
Like, just test the champion on the Hydra, and if you see something like that, just adjust the skill. It can't be that hard, right? About the Trunda, what they can do about the page, revert the page, everything back to the beginning on the Hydra, just remove the Trunda A2 skill, okay? She's like, what is the biggest problem of the A2 skill? Attack one enemy, then attack whatever surplus damage, right? Just A2 skill, attack one enemy. That's all. Nothing else. Okay? And make her A3 skill, ignore stone skill. Boom. She's gonna be arena meta god tier champion, right? So everybody happy. So same for the Yannicka, they can do something about her too. They can put her skill damage cap like they did a Cadaver A1 skill instead of buffing the Hydra, you know. So, and as an apology list, they should be give everybody Siersha for the free. If people already have her, 6-star soul for them. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Saoirse for free. You know, $500 champion that they put in the Plarium pay points. Which we'll gonna touch up on that one too in just a second here. But my suggestion here is gonna be, listen, I don't think we should do the rollback, because if they do the rollback, I don't know what else is gonna happen, and that's what scares me the worst part, right? Because if they do the rollback and then they decide down the line we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that, it's gonna cause more frustration, more aggravation, and we've had a lot of players already quit. I mean, Scratch came out and said on one of his videos, you know, even in content creator chat, he had 10 people, and we're talking one of the top clans, that just said, screw this, I'm done, too much bullshit, I'm out of here. So I don't think reverting the champion, or reverting the stuff back, I think the more logical answer is going to be, and this is going to their PR department here, is you need to give back the resources, not all of them, but at least 1 or 2 reset scrolls for champions. Let the player base pick which one they want, revert back and give them the 800 gems, the masteries, right? Give them the books, give them blessings, any of that stuff. Let them revert that back. Give you any of that stuff that you invested in your champions back, because now, you know, for a lot of the player base, some of these champions they can't really use anymore, right? And then maybe they could invest in somebody new. But I think that's where I would go. I wouldn't call reverting those champions back. As for the reverting the stuff back. As for the Hydra itself, Serpent's Will at this point, I feel just needs to be removed. It's definitely going to kind of make things a little easier if we're just able to deal damage all of the time and not lose that 1 turn on each head. But chat, we'll have to wait and see. You guys let us know what you think.
Let me ask you a question. Let me challenge that thought. So from a coding perspective, if they were to implement, hey, we can basically redo a champion and get back all the resources we put into them, right?
A reset scroll, yep.
Yeah, reset scroll. Okay, that's cool, but then to implement that, and that gets all funky and weird. Would you be, instead of that, could you just say, hey, give me all the resources to do a new champion? That way you don't revert people you've done. Meaning like, hey, we're gonna give you 800 gems, 12 legendary books, and enough energy to run them from 5 stars to 6 stars or whatever, or give you a feast and a barrel. We'll give you a feast, a barrel, 800 gems, 12 legendary books. Here you go. And then you can do a new champion versus creating a whole new system to revert an existing champion you've already dumped the resources into.
So I don't think keeping the champion and then giving us the extra resources to build a different one would be the right answer. I think because, again, they're changing the champion themselves, so theoretically we wouldn't want to be using that champion anymore, right? So bring them back, reset them back to either a 5-star or whatever they might be, and give the feast, give the gems, give the books, give that stuff. I wouldn't say, you know, let us keep what we already have and give us another one. I just thinking that from an economic perspective on the game for, you know, what we would do, I don't think that would work. I think that it would add a little more inflation and then we'd be looking at other problems.
Yeah, it would be inflationary.
Right. So then I think we'd be looking up for other numbers. Guys, thank you very much for all those follows. I appreciate that.
Can I say one other thing?
Yes.
So if I do like the idea of getting rid of Serpent's Will, but if they do, then they have to really look at Trunda, because I feel like the reason Serpent's Will is there is so Trunda doesn't just blow up the head super quickly. So they'd have to really look into her.
Well, so with the Trunda fix, I basically told them in creator chat, I said, look, why not just make it that her A2 cannot double hit bosses. You did it with other champions, right? If like Rathalos just does his A1, he has a chance to place a 100% decrease attack on the boss, you know, or a 50% chance.
Only
So
against the
why not?
boss,
Yeah. So why not make it so that on bosses, she just doesn't do extra damage on the A2. She doesn't do that second hit. And their answer was, well, we tested it, but it didn't work. Come on. You know, I kind of feel like that's, yeah.
You know what's harder to test? A complete revamp on the entire mechanics of Hydra.
You guys, can you back me up on this? I asked.
Didn't work.
I see that. Yep, I saw that.
I asked, and they said no.
I don't know how they are testing, but that's what they said.
You know, I basically came on and said, look, just have her A2 not hit on the second hit, not hit bosses. That's it.
Just it's a BS. That's just a BS.
And they said it didn't work.
We are trying to fix the mechanics for all champions, not just Trunda. They should have just said that.
You know,
versus I don't know.
Well, that's bullshit. But yeah, if they're going to do the Shipper's Bowl thing, which I want them to do, they just got to make sure that they re-look at Trunda. Poopy.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see. We'll have another discussion sometime in the near future about the state of Hydra. On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you kind of place your enjoyment with Hydra at the current rate? Ken?
I mean, I'm never a big fan of the Hydra. Like, I don't think anybody like enjoying the Hydra running like, especially manual, like hours and hours. Right now, I mean, maybe previously I've been a little bit enjoying, you know, it wasn't that annoying. Right now it's more annoying, so basically zero excitement or the enjoyment for the Hydra current state.
Okay.
Literally zero.
Fair.
Zero, bro.
Zero, bro.
I mean, for me, it was always just being able to improve my teams and have some fun with them and see bigger numbers. But I agree with you right now. I'm kind of towards the lower end. Gestal, what about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. Hydra was cool when it came out. It was different. 6 champions, blah, blah, blah. It grew very tedious very quickly to me, and I just started running auto teams as soon as I could build them and do even like 1 key'em back then. And then when Clash came out, then I changed the teams up to try to do, more damage, but I never got like super crazy about it. We had fun on stream one time building the Trunda team just to see what it could do, and ended up running it for maybe a month or 2 before then all this happened. But it's not something I've ever taken that seriously. It's something to get stone skin and hopefully get some good accessories.
Okay. So number wise, where would you put it between 1 to 10?
I'll give her a 4.
4. Okay. PJ, what about you?
I've said this before in the podcast. I've said it on my stream a lot. But yeah, I was a big fan of Hydra. Even after the rebalance a few weeks ago, I still was a big fan of Hydra. I really liked building teams, trying to min-max, try to get the best I could. And now I just feel completely defeated, completely not interested in Hydra. So I guess a 0. I haven't ran it at all this week. I have 3 keys. I got to run them soon, but I really don't think I'm gonna put any effort or much time or effort into them. So yeah, not happy. And I was one of the few that was like enjoying Hydra even after the rebalance. I thought it was in a good state, going towards a good state, and this just completely ruins my teams. I have multiple ally attack champions. Teox is in there, so I'm not very happy.
Okay. Number wise, 1 to 10?
Negative.
Oh,
Damn. PJ is harsh. Okay, 0.
Yeah, Hydra for me was always a 1 until they did the clash, the clan clash, whatever. Because I was just running and get my max chest and get out, and I just waited to get that 36 million on Nightmare or whatever it is, and boom, get out of the fight. Because it was a huge time sink. And then when they did the clash, it made it really tough because of the time sink it was required. So I really built my teams to do as much damage as they could do, but auto them and just be done with the fight. So my interest kind of got up a little bit. And then like when I got the ninja and all that stuff, I was like, oh, we can actually compete and do some really cool stuff. And now I have 3 really good teams I'm working with and tweaking. And so I got more into it. And then these changes nerfed it down to a 5. And now if, it's a bad week for me in terms of the clan with running it. But like if ally attack and multi-hitters and all that crap are just got nerfed into the dirt and Trunda's back to being, 10x above everything else, then it's back to a 1 for me. I'll run it to get my chest, and I'll hit auto and forget it and just say, yep, thank you for making it 1,000 turns instead of 1,500 turns. You saved 15 minutes of my life.
Wow.
And that's where I'm going to be with it. So we're back at a 1.
We're back at a 1. Okay, sorry, I'm reacting to a comment that I'm looking at chat here. Someone on Reddit just posted a video of them using all of their Hydra champs, starting with a Lady Mikage, as food to level up a 4-door. Holy.
So that's a Plarium.
There you go, Plarium. There is the response to what you have done with Hydra. As for myself, I feel like a 2 is fair. I still like doing Hydra because obviously I have an OP account. I can do stuff. And I get the excitement of trying to do better and better with my champions, but I don't really like where we've been heading with Hydra. So, will I manual the runs? Absolutely fucking not. So Plarium, get back on the horse, fix Hydra, and let's, don't release that next content, because I know what's going to come. There's going to be something. It might be the Great Void, it might be something else, but don't get us excited for something else when you can't even get something that's currently in the game fixed. That said, we just had
a quick thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, really quick, sorry. But I think Zero makes a great point. Like, I'm not sure what the exact numbers are going to be after this rebalance, but if it is going to be, if Trund is going to be 10x 10x better than the next best team, like, why did we even do these changes? Like, what's the point? Like, everyone at least was having fun when it was before. Like, if it's going to be the same thing where she's still 10x, then it's like, we did all this just to make people upset.
Fair point. All right, let's talk about the next big thing that came on in this week's patch, which was the live arena quest, right? I think, and I hope I'm wrong, but in Ash's video, he made a comment saying they're going to do something that's going to make you want to do live arena more. I guess one way to boost your analytics is forcing the player base to do it, right? As for myself, it's not that I don't mind live arena. I'm pretty good with it. Like, I've started to enjoy it, but 2 days in a row, I've had the quest win 1 live arena battle. And the thing is if I don't have the time because it's Monday through Friday and I'm working, even with the extra hour, it's still bad hours for me. It's either I got to get my dinner ready for my kids, I'm at work, or I'm at sleep. And unfortunately, the 130 energy that we would get out of this, and then the extra day to get to that legendary book, it's not going to make or break me. That said, they also did change in Live Arena. Now you can get a chest which contains, I believe it's Zeal and what was the other one, Ken? Zeal and Impulse. Yeah. Impulse. And then we can get some what do we get? We can get some dust, we can get some tokens for the gears. I'm sorry. I'm kind of out of it right now because this is still kind of a sore subject for me, right? So we can get some of the charms and stuff. And then don't worry, guys, if that's not enough for you, you have I don't even know if it's a 1% chance to get a legendary book once a month out of here. First of all, have you gotten this quest over the last couple of days, Ken?
Isn't it like a everyday thing?
No, it's supposed to be, you know how you win a live arena battle, or you could get a 3v3 arena battle, win one with the highest team, or use, 4 different champions, 4 different
Okay.
affinities. So it's
are they
it's
going to be
added
cycle
into
or
that.
they are replace?
It's supposed to cycle. It doesn't feel like that because for the
Oh.
last 2 days I've gotten it back to back.
Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I don't like this tag team arena one because usually Sunday I don't do tag team arena and they always come in on the Sunday. And to be honest, here's the thing, guys. Like, I don't think finishing advanced quest every single day is the big deal. I mean, obviously, most of the time you are gonna finish it, right? Like, I believe you guys can do like at least one live arena victory. But if you miss like couple of days, you know, we already like holding our Hydra keys to try to get a better score on the Clash. And there is like one advanced quest saying to you use Hydra key. For this scenario, like we already losing the advanced quest fully completed. So it just add another thing. This one is not that annoying like Hydra one because this one, like, I love to do a live arena. Again, that's my personal opinion. And yeah, I personally love it. And I also love the extend time duration for the recent patch. Live arena basically starting 1 hour earlier now for me, and for my content it's actually better, so we can do more live arena. And this chest, better than nothing, you know, like we get some extra, we take it. Like this chest actually super helpful. People who didn't got attention to save their impulse or the zeal set, or let's say they just got very unlucky and they didn't get it for the Marius mission, because one of the Marius mission is tell you to equip 4-piece zeal or the impulse gear. I think I have lots of friends, lots of people on my viewers, they are, bro, like I just got 35 victory, I open the chest, boom, there is no helmet, no zeal helmet, you know. At least now they have a daily chance to get the zeal helmet, so that can help them a lot.
Okay, fair point. Big shout out to Mr. YST for joining us in the chat, guys. Make sure you follow Mr. YST. I mean, if you're following any one of us, you know YST. Big shout out to him. How are you doing, brother? Gestal, have you gotten this quest yet?
Oh yeah.
Every day?
Yeah. No, I didn't get it yesterday actually.
Okay. So it's
I actually think it's kind of cool because it's kind of forcing me to do, not forcing me, but now I have to do it on my free to play, and I hadn't done really any live arena on the free to play, and it's kind of fun.
Okay.
So I don't mind it on that front. Obviously, on the main account, I do too much live arena, so it's just added benefit for me, honestly.
Well, you're only sitting on like 30,000, you know, crusts.
I don't even know where I'm at, bro. I'm at. Hold up. I'm over 50, I think, right now.
Over 50,000. Okay, wow.
Yeah. I don't know where to put them.
PJ, what about you, man? Have you gotten this quest so far?
I've gotten it, and I've also not gotten it, so it definitely is cycling. Are we going to talk more about it? Or
Yeah. I just want to find out if you've gotten it or not. Zero.
I have gotten it.
Okay, Zero. What about you?
Yeah, I know we kind of diverted on that topic, but yeah, so I've gotten it twice in a row. I think it's fine, but I won't talk about the chest. But if you're gonna move on to that, I'll shut up and talk about that at that time.
All right. So with the, you know, having to win, or not having to win, but with the 5 chests resetting every day, I guess this, and again, I really hope that this is not what they're trying to do to make us do live arena more. Like, I feel like it's really not going to. Yeah, the extra bonuses, the 50 energy, it might just be 1 run in Fire Knight. The 20 multi-battles, I really couldn't care about. And what really pisses me off is you have a chance. Again, I haven't seen the percentage. I've asked them and I haven't gotten a response. But I'm guessing it's, you know, just like anything else, it's like a 1% chance, if not less, to get a legendary book. I hear what Ken is echoing about the Marius missions, but I don't feel like it's good enough, right? The dust that you're going to be able to get, I think I got dust 2 days in a row. You only get 2, not even enough to rework 1 piece of gear, and this is in gold 4. Ken, well, let me start with Zero first. Where do you stand with the whole 5 daily wins and the chest rewards?
Yeah, so I think as I'm doing live arena as we're talking, but no, I think that it's cool. Like, so like other times in the game, right? We've talked about them giving us more, right? Like, hey, can you increase the energy cap? And like, you know, they implemented Iron Twins that requires a key and energy, and now that's an energy sink. So I think it's cool. Like, I want to give them kudos to say, hey, if you get 3 wins, we're going to give you an extra little 50 energy from content that doesn't require energy to get, right? So I just want to say that's cool. And I like that. I think, though, getting 5 out of 10 wins, if you will, is kind of tough, because I think a lot of people that aren't on the top end of Arena, if you're in Gold 4, again, I'm speaking from a Gold 4 perspective, as a top 1,000 person in Live Arena, it's going to be tough to get 5, honestly. And now with the power creep in the game, in terms of just like Odin and Armands and all the different mythical champions, it's really hard to get. I'm banking about 50%. So to get the 5 chests every day is gonna be really hard. But I will say it's cool that they gave it to us. And yeah, legendary book, it is what it is. So again, they're forcing us to do it. That's fine. Getting 1 win would, I think that's doable out of 10 runs. Giving us more time to do it, I think is really
hold on. Is it doable though? Yeah. Because Live Arena requires, depending on where you are, requires a robust roster. And early enough, if you don't have one, right, you go in, people do say that if you take your 3 losses, you'll get a bot. But as you go higher on, that's not really the case. Once you break out of bronze, you don't really find those easy wins all the time. So, and to a lot of complaining that people have done with Armands, if your opponent has Armands and you don't, and you can't, I don't think getting a 1 win is that easy.
Yeah, out of 10 runs. Yeah,
and again, hold on, I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but the time sink for that 1 quest is going to be real.
Yeah, no, and I will say, for me personally, I feel like I go in waves, right? Like, I might have one day I get 8 or 9 losses in a row. It just happens. But then the next day I come in and I get 8 or 9 wins in a row, and I am banking around 50%. And I think that they try to. I was watching some of Nub's videos. I think they do strive to get at least 50% out of this. But yeah, no, and it's fair too. Like, people that are in silver, right? So again, I'm in the gold mindset. Where I tried to stay in silver as long as I could, and then they changed it where you take less of point loss and kind of you artificially are going up. You're now artificially going up in Live Arena. I think that's also something to note.
To that point, they are boosting you out even every time you lose. They will eventually boost you out of that tier. And I'm reading chat here. Someone saying that there are bots in Gold Live Arena. I personally haven't noticed them because, as you can see here, no one I'm going up against seems like a bot. Even when I've taken 3 fights in a row as a loss. But
I do want to say one thing. The 20 multi-battles, I guess people that rely on multi-battle, that's cool. But I'm going to have an infinite amount of multi-battles before this is over with to get that 1 win. That I think that should be replaced with something else, honestly.
Right.
And maybe chat, speak up if you're a huge if you're mobile only, you don't have RSL helper, or you really use multi battles. But I feel like we get them everywhere in the game now through the free stuff they give us, running Cursed City and all this stuff. To get that every single day is ridiculous.
Right. Multi-battles are great for a majority of the community that is on mobile. And honestly, like, since I've played Raid Shadow Legends, I've mostly been, when the client came out, I've mostly been a PC player. Even before that, when you were able to do it on BlueStacks, I was always doing it on that. I've very rarely played on mobile unless I was out of the house. But it is... And again, there are players that I thought the whole time were PC players and not. That said, chat, I got a question for you. Are you happy with these rewards for, you know, the 1 multi-battle win, the 1 win, the 3 wins, and then the 5 wins? Or should they change? And if they change, let's be realistic in what would be a good compromise for Plarium to give out on these 5 wins. If you actually manage to, you know, put half an hour, 45 minutes into a fight, or to, you know, do all these fights, what should actually be a good reward? PJ, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I don't mind them adding the challenge of the live arena. I honestly wish they would have waited though. Like, I think they should have added the rewards and now and then waited to maybe the new year to add the challenge, because they've just been doing bad press after bad press after like bad things, and this is kind of like another thing people aren't happy about, is getting forced to do live arena. So I think it would have been a little bit of a win if they would have added the rewards but waited for the challenges until a couple months. But as far as the rewards themselves, like you said, they're not the best. They're a nice little something. I wish they would have boosted up a little bit, maybe like 100 energy, maybe double the chance or double the dust and that kind of stuff, so you could at least get like a full roll of one thing. And then maybe getting a guaranteed legendary book. Like, I'm not sure what, like you said, like the odds are, but if you go through the month and not get the Lego book, that would be kind of crazy. But I'm sure with the odds it's gonna happen. So yeah, getting the rewards up a little bit. And again, like what you were saying earlier, I feel like the 1 win isn't that bad. I get what they're trying to do is prevent people from just getting in and leaving, but if you're in gold or silver, if you're losing the 3 battles and getting the bot, like, you're not going to be moving up the ladder that fast, so you'll be able to chill there for a while. And then if it's like, if you're joining a game and
while you're in bronze, you don't lose points for a loss. When you're in silver, you win depending on the tier, but you only lose 1 point. So even if you do end up losing 3 matches in a row and get that 1 bot, you're still gonna increase your point score by 1. You're still gonna increase your ranking plus 1.
Eventually, yeah. And then by the time you get to gold, I think you'll have enough of a roster to get at least 1 win. And if you join a game and you think you're gonna get smoked by a Kraken, just instantly leave and then search for a fight that you think is more like winnable, and just skip the ones that you just think you're gonna get blown out in.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
Nobody's bitching about live arena changes with all the Hydra changes. Nobody cares about live arena. I'm just saying.
Fair point. You know, that's how they introduced this. You know, maybe they're not introducing something else new in the future. Maybe they just screwed everything up with Hydra, and they wanted to, you know, kind of say, we're gonna force you to do live arena, but hey, we're gonna give you this and distract you with this. Gestal, what about yourself, man?
What would I like in the chest? Is that the question?
So it's, you know, where do you kind of stand with this? Is this good enough for you? Would you like it to change? And how do you feel about it being capped or having to get the 5 wins to get the chest?
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I guess, really bother me, because like I said, obviously play too much. I'm gonna probably get 5 wins, so I get it. Getting 5 wins for people that don't take live arena very seriously is probably not something that's gonna happen all the time. So I don't know, like, what do you make it, 3 or 4? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't feel like the rewards are like that insane that you have to win 5 every day to get them, right? Like, the best thing in the rewards to me are the dust.
Right, but if you're trying to get the player base to do this, is this enough rewards to get you to do it if you aren't one that enjoys it?
Oh no, I don't think they're good at all.
Okay.
The energy should be more, and there shouldn't be some sort of cap on the Lego book. There should be Lego books in there. Like, why are they so shicey on the Lego books? It doesn't make any sense to me. Let it pop up anytime. They should put shards in there too, man. Like, if people would do live arena, if they had a shot at getting a sacred shard in there, are you kidding me?
Soul stones.
Yeah,
soul stones. I would much rather soul stones. Yeah,
I don't think.
I think they're pretty weak. I don't. You know, maybe make it like 7 wins and have like a chance for a sacred, a chance for a mortal or a big soulstone, like that would entice people. And don't make it like a 1% chance. Make it like a 3% chance. I don't know.
They give a monthly calendar with rewards. Every day you log in, you get something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think the better course for them might be like, listen, hey, if you do all 10 fights and you win or you win 10 fights, you know, tier 1 gives you an energy if you win 3 fights. You get multi-battles for 1 fight and then just move on up to the 10 fights and then give like a primal or something to make it a little, you know, that I feel like that right there would get people to participate because you're giving them extra rewards that are useful, to be honest, you know. And you could do it like a legendary book because I don't know about you guys, but myself, there's no way in hell without spending 2-3 hours that I'm gonna get 10 fights and win all 10, right? I think my win rate right now is at like 60%. So granted, eventually I'll get more over time, but how much energy, how much time am I gonna have to spend there, right? How many gems? Ken, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I pretty much agree what you guys said, especially like a Gestal said, like shard, like a PJ said, like soulstone, that will be great. I personally want a mythical book. Like, there is not too much place we can get the mythical book, and the Hydra Clash #1 chest doesn't give the mythical book. I don't know how you guys getting that. I maybe got like on my lifetime, maybe 1, maybe 2 time there. And even getting mythical champion is extremely hard. I will get it one day, and I just don't want to go super hard to tournament or the events to try to get the mythical book, man. Like, I don't care about legendary book. We can get it from Columbus. Give us mythical book.
Right here, they're giving you mythical books for $25 a book.
Bro,
$25 a book, Ken. What happened? You can't get that? It's $25 a book. But no, I agree.
That's double what he's paid in the game lifetime for 1 book.
No, I agree. I feel like, you know, mythical books should be part of it instead of the legendary books. And I again, 1 book is come on. And again, we don't know the drop rates, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's like a 0.01%.
I got book, by the way, already.
You did?
I already got
okay.
it.
So
yeah, like yesterday or something like that.
So it's not an urban myth. You actually can get books. Okay, so Ken confirmed that for us.
Yeah, it's a one-time amount too, so...
Right, but I feel like they could just... There's so much more that they could have put in, and there's definitely a better way for them to go about this. Now, I guess for the community out there, you know, how important do you think they should focus on live arena? And is any of this, can you make a case, I guess, to change their minds about, hey, you should do live arena because of what's currently going on? Ken?
Well, sorry, what did you ask?
Can you make a case with everything currently in arena, in live arena, where, you know, the extra rewards, the stuff that they're doing, the way they're trying to incentivize it, to make a case for them to say you should do live arena? Is it something you think the player base could actually kind of get into right now? Or does this entice them?
You mean, like, you
not force them, but
I mean, if they put a better reward, yeah, if they put a better reward, obviously more people gonna be played. You know, it's not like you force them by advanced quest. It's not a good move, you know. Like, you just need to put there like better rewards. Same for the tag team arena. Everybody's saying it's a dead content, right? Well, put there like dust on the bazaar, mythical book on the bazaar, right? Tag team arena bazaar. Like, I don't know, some immortal, eternal soulstone on the bazaar. You know, like, it's bazaar is ready, bro. They just need to put that over there. You know, they just need to put it.
Just change the icons.
It's not hard thing to do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly, man. No, don't let them change it. Just add a new one. Like they did at the Avatar, right? Recently, Avatar frame, 50k for the tag team arena bazaar. Yep, exactly like that.
Okay.
Like, if you think people are not playing it, same for the Doom Tower. We are talking bad thing about Doom Tower rotation 1 and rotation 2. Little boring, right? Buff the gear, bro. Like what gear we are getting from Eternal Dragon? Do you guys remember?
I think Eternal Dragon, isn't that
First.
Fatal? Oh no. Yeah, you're
No,
right,
no,
Blake.
it's lifesteal one. I think better lifesteal.
Yeah,
Who
the
care about
lifesteal,
lifesteal?
Yep. No, I agree. I think if they're kind of at that moment where they definitely need a little more tweaking to the rewards, and I think they could probably get a little more interaction with this. PJ, you got a smile on your face.
Yeah, someone said Eternal Dragon gives gear. I thought he just gives silver. Yeah, as far as the rewards, I mean, it's better than nothing. If you enjoyed doing live, then you're happy. If you didn't like doing live, maybe you'll do it now. I don't think it's like enough to get people to really do it. But I would argue that almost it's with the nerf to Hydra. I think a lot of people are doing live for like the Hydra bonuses. Obviously, if you have that complete, then you don't need it. But a lot of like early mid game players, I think, do live for the Hydra bonuses. And now with the state of Hydra, it's kind of like, I mean, there's courtesy and other bonuses you can get as well. But I feel like Hydra was a big focus for what people prioritized.
Okay. So they break Hydra to boost their numbers because they know people are going to do Hydra anyways. So they break Hydra to boost live arena interaction for the Great Hall. Ooh. Fair point. Okay.
Yeah.
Gestal, what about you? Any thoughts on this?
I don't feel like there's incentive there. I don't think it's more incentive for people to do it. I'm certainly happy because I play it a ton and I'm getting more stuff for doing what I like to do. But yeah, like what PJ said, I don't think this is really going to give much more incentive. Yeah, would it be better rewards? Honestly, I feel like if they could get a little bit better balance in Live Arena, I think people would be more interested in it.
Okay.
So I think that's what they need to focus on. The rewards are always good, and if they had the rewards like what we talked about earlier, a mythical book would be amazing, man. You can't get those things anywhere. I think that would certainly incentivize people, but what they've done now, honestly, one of my oldest supporter on the stream just took a break from the game because of the live arena quest. He's like, I've had enough. I don't like doing live arena. I don't want them to force me to do it. He's been playing for 4.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's I don't think pushing people into anything is really good. Live arena PvP is a different animal. Especially live arena is a much different animal than like even just like classic or tag team. Some people just absolutely hate doing PvP and they don't like a live type of PvP. And I don't think you should force people to do it. Even though that's like my favorite part of the game, I think everyone should at least check it out, right? I don't think anyone should be forced into that content.
Fair point.
Can I say something real quick? That reminded me of something real quick.
Go ahead.
Gestal said. I feel like people don't necessarily hate live arena. I think they hate the meta right now. Like the meta is so toxic and so bad that's what's kind of driving people to not do live. If we had like a different meta or if it wasn't as bad right now, I feel like people wouldn't be as
Bomb shouldn't be so OP and do something with Armand. Like,
this guy Armand to poop on everyone's
So I feel like if they cleaned up that a little bit and and rebalanced or shifted how the meta is, then might bring some more people to do it as well.
Okay.
So I guess it reminded me of that.
All right. Dabmaster.
So I'm gonna be honest. I think the incentive was already there with the Great Hall things, and I know people disliked it, but with the caveat it was a harder barrier to entry because of the limited time. I mean, realistically, there was only 1 or 2 hours in a day with people's work and sleep schedules to actually get an opportunity to run it. And then when you go to run it, it's 45, even the 10 tokens could be 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how the fights go, right? I think that was the biggest issue. And now with this change, again, I want to give them credit. They've opened up to about half the day. Those 3-hour window slots are so much better. And in fact, I was a little upset because I do kind of like to get a little bit of arena in when I start my stream at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And with the time changes that they did, live arena would have been open from only 6 to 8, and then I start my stream at 8, so I wouldn't even be able to do the content whatsoever. So I can slide some of them in now with this 3-hour window. And I look at these rewards as extra bonuses. Yeah, it sucks they're forcing you to do it. I've always kind of done it, but I think if people have neglected to do it and have neglected the area bonuses, you're missing out on how much other parts of the game you can do, right? Like the area bonuses for Hydra, change things. Fire Knight Hard 10, which is one of the hardest things to do in the game right now, absolutely changed that. And then even some of the Cursed City, some of the Amius fights with the accuracy and resistance pieces, getting that bonus really helped a lot. So if you weren't doing that, now you're gonna get forced to do it. But I think you need to look at it that way. It's like, hey, this is gonna improve my entire account and my entire game. And then one little thing I want to say too is now that I've kind of maxed out and can do it without those 3 areas I just specifically mentioned for me personally, you really should be banking your tokens now. I know Gestal's banked 80 million of them, but I think when they release new content in the game, it would behoove them to also open up area bonuses for those, whether that's the Great Void, the next siege thing or whatever, right? That they implement in the future. Like build out what you need and then min-max it, hold on to it. Like I have 0 in Sand Devils, 0 in Phantom's Grove, and they nerf those champions and I can do 25. I'm not putting a single point into that. So, but yeah, will it force people to do it? No. And I look at those chests as if I don't get them every day, that one legendary book, it just is what it is. I might not get 5 fights that day or 5 wins, excuse me. But if I get 3, the extra 50 energy, hey, that's just bonus stuff I didn't have before. Or that's the way I look at it is that's 2.5 runs in Iron Twins. Honestly, that if you can get 3 wins out of 10 fights, that's 2.5 runs of Iron Twins that has now come off the board.
I guess.
Can I ask the Zero a quest?
Yeah.
A quest? Or
Are
a
you
question?
still using? Yes. Question. Yeah. Are you still using a helicat on your live arena?
Just every now and then I'll try to get him in there. Every now and then.
No, because your video, we watched that on the stream, like 12-minute live arena fight.
Oh yeah, that was. But
they ban your DPS and you try to kill them with helicat, and I can see you are dying inside.
Oh yeah, no, that. By the way, so I do have a DPS helicat, and that's funny. But yeah, because of the for those of y'all who don't know, BLAZIN mentioned it last week, right? The corrupted pack. And so I just happen to have the undead helicath, but with the Death Knight, and I have a nuker Death Knight, that combo sometimes works. But yeah, that one fight was, you're 100% right. It was like a 25-minute fight, even though there's only like a 20-minute limit. It felt like forever. It was really probably 15 minutes, but it was so bad.
All right. Well, we could keep talking about all this stuff for hours and hours and hours, but unfortunately it looks like Ken is sleepy there. It's getting past his bedtime. And with that, I want to ask Ken, where can people come and find you?
People can find me on the Twitch with the FinalKenpachi. We are going live on the Columbus reset, but Columbus resetting in 1 hour time zone difference now, but we are going live in whenever this time zone start, guys, okay? And at the same time, FinalKenpachi on the YouTube.
Well, good point on that, because Clan Boss reset's different for everybody now, so that's another thing. Gestal, where can everybody come and find you?
Gestal Gaming on Twitch and the YouTubes, and gestal.gg is the website.
Awesome. PJ, what about you, brother?
MXPJE on Twitch. We stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day, as much as possible. I play other games as well. Might be playing even more other games now with the way Ray be treating us. Ray maybe doing some sponsorships or something. So we'll see what happens.
All right. And Zero, what about you?
Yep, find me every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday on the Twitches, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're in Texas time zone, the one and only time zone. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and then I do have the YouTubes. I'm going to try to get more content out there. This event helped me get some extra YouTube time, so that was fun.
Awesome.
Also, what's funny is, and I didn't send it to y'all, but what's funny is I tried to record it the first time, and for those of y'all who don't know, my wife had a major surgery on Tuesday, and I had to, in the middle of my recording, I had to stop it, but I was about to call out Nubs because the very first fight in the recording was a AFK live arena, and he kind of promoted that, and then he walked it back on a different video. But he was like, "Hey, if you don't like live arena, just set it and forget it and walk off." And I was
man.
like, "Oh no!" And that was in my
No,
recording. I was
don't
like,
be that
"Nubs."
guy. Don't be that guy. Hey Ken, what you got for a shout out for me, brother?
I'd like to shout out the Scratch. We did a collab with him today. We talk about like why the people are quitting the game and what's going on the game today's like Hydra changes, stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave the both of the video link if you don't mind,
Yeah,
so you
go
guys
right
can
ahead,
find
bro.
them over there. Thank you.
All right. Gestal, what about you? What you got for a shout out for me?
Let's shout out my man Grim Reaper TV Raid over on Twitch and YouTube. Awesome dude. He be streaming out of Indonesia now and is a new father. Not so new. Couple months.
Still in that honeymoon period.
Yeah, man. He's a great streamer though. He's been in the community forever. Super knowledgeable. Go check him out.
100% agree. PJ, what you got for a shout out for me?
All right, we're going to be giving a shout out to I'm a Roadblock, another awesome dude, been on the podcast a few times, does the YouTube and the Twitch. I think he's moving right now, so he's been going through like all that fun stuff. I put fun in quotations. So I think he's not as active like the next week or something, or this past week, so he should be back on soon, and definitely go check him out. Awesome dude. Yeah, go check him out. Drop him a follow.
Awesome. Zero, what you got for a shout out for me?
Yep, I'm gonna do Pogo PinkTie. He's a nice member of the community, and he has a different perspective on the way he plays the game. Like he's a big Wait Shadow Legends guy, and his streams are very chill, very vibe. I'm not a 420 partaker, but he is very much so, and his streams are just so chill. He's good. He's a good cat. So definitely check out Pogo PinkTie if you haven't already.
All right. My shout out's gonna go to Sam Solstice, who, the opening video today, she hit it on spot, man. She was awesome. And I've talked to her a couple of times. I actually invited her on the stream for today's podcast, because I figured it'd be a nice little feisty stream to have with her. But we'll get her one of these days. She'll come on. I do want to make an announcement. We had a cap of 121 viewers between Twitch and stream, between Twitch and YouTube. Baby. So thank you all very much. That is tremendous, numbers. I'm shocked. Not gonna lie. I can't believe we have 121 of you guys out there watching us, and even the streams after they're done, you guys are going back watching the VODs. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Just keep growing. Just keep growing.
So with that said, we are going to raid out on the Twitch side to actually Mr. Grim Reaper Raid TV. Make sure you guys go give him a little bit of, just poke him a little bit. Just tell him, get him on the podcast here with us. And we'll see what kind of things he has to say when he's under the gun and pressured. Guys, again, thank you all so much for joining us. It has been a wonderful 2 hours. If you have a subject that you want us to talk about on the podcast, please let us know. DM any one of these guys in Discord. DM me in Discord. We're here for the community, and the more that we discuss things, hopefully, the more change we can get with Plarium. We know that they're listening. We know that they're watching. We just have to give them everything the right way. As always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.